So this class tonight is a little bit different from the class that I taught last week here. We're going to take things not necessarily more slowly, but I'm going to take a little bit more care to teach the details. So I'd like to think of it as a little bit of a back to basics class so that we build up a memory in our bodies and with the breath of how we move through a sequence. And it's a sequence that includes a little bit of everything. We're not focusing on one particular part of the body. But as always, at least in my classes, let's take some time to arrive and to settle. And you could do that with your legs extended, or you might find it more comfortable to stand your feet on the floor. So you figure out, you organize yourself to find maximum comfort. And sometimes when we lie still, especially on the floor, resting like this, our attention can turn inwards in a way that maybe we haven't given it the chance to do during the day. And spend a few moments in our own quiet and still interior. And when left to its own devices, our attention tends to wander. And that is completely fine. So maybe just observe where your attention goes as you set it free to wander. Maybe you've arrived with a particularly busy mind. Or with particular feelings and emotions present. Maybe you've arrived with a particular ache or tightness in your body somewhere. Maybe you've arrived with a full and smooth and easy breath. Or maybe you find it a little bit tricky to breathe this evening. All I'm inviting you to do is to notice everything that's here for you right now. And not to close the door on any of it, but rather to welcome it all in. To acknowledge it, to set it free to be here. And you might like to ask yourself the question of, what is it that's really brought you to your yoga mat? You could be doing any number of things. But what is it that's really called you to spend 90 minutes with time to explore the breath, to explore physical sensation? Maybe there's something that you really want from this practice and you could request it as an intention. You could set yourself a sankalpa. In Sanskrit, the word sankalpa means an intention born from the heart that develops over time. And then taking time to really, really notice sensations where the body meets the floor. Maybe your feet, back of your pelvis, the back of your ribs, your head. You might even have a sense of the floor rising up to meet you and to hold you. And today we're not going to do a specific breathing practice, but maybe take a moment to simply notice how your body's breathing itself. Where in the body do you feel the breath? And there are no right or wrong answers to that question. Maybe you feel it in the belly. Maybe you feel it more in your nose and throat. Maybe you feel it more around the ribs and the chest. And then if your feet are not yet standing on the floor, please stand them on the floor. And now I would like you to organize yourself so that your feet are parallel and about hip distance apart. So if you take your fingers to the hip crests at the front of your pelvis, when I say hip distance apart, that is the distance I mean, not the outside of your hips, but these front crests. And you should be able to draw a line from these crests to the middle of your knees and down to your second toe, probably. And you can release your arms where they feel comfortable by your sides, or maybe cactus arms or goddess arms out from your shoulders, like that against the floor. Only if that feels totally comfortable. So we're going to start super gentle with this physical practice, and it will work up a little. So bringing your attention to your pelvis, feeling all the bones and the weight of your pelvis against the floor. And in your own time and in any breathing rhythm that works for you, beginning to roll over your tailbone. And in fact, what I'd like you to do today is as you roll over your tailbone, I want you to take one of your hands and slide it under the little arch that will have appeared under your lower back, like a little tunnel that a mouse could run through. This is a forward tilt of the pelvis. And then you can slide your hand away and begin to roll the pelvis back so that your lower back flattens into the mat, almost peeling up the tailbone as you press into your feet. And then we continue rolling the pelvis forwards to create the little arch. And then rolling it back. So I often will start any of my classes like this because it's so good to articulate the rolling of the pelvis with the gentle movement in the spine. You're not lifting anything off the floor. Yeah, we will be doing that. Something like this. So if you haven't done it before, it's unusual. Just arching forwards like that, so the pelvis tilts forwards And then take your hand away, you're rolling pelvis back. That's what we do. So if you were kneeling or standing, it would look like that. And I like to do this myself for quite a long time. Try not to lift your bottom off the floor at all. You will have the opportunity to do that. This is more about a very gentle rolling forwards and back of the pelvis. And notice what happens with your breath. Do you find that you breathe in as you tilt the pelvis forwards? That's much better now. And out as you tilt the pelvis back. Or does something different happen for you? What do you notice in the contact between your feet and the floor? Or maybe you notice a ripple of movement up your spine, and maybe your head's moving, or your rib cage. It's very subtle. This is more about you tuning in, really dropping into sensation, not about stretching or strengthening. Just gentle mobilizing with the breath. And then let that go, just rest. And now those of you who were longing to lift off the floor can do so. You're going to press into your feet, begin to peel the tailbone and the back of the pelvis off the floor, but not lifting any vertebrae off the floor. We're not coming into a bridge, we're just hanging a little bit like a hammock, so that you feel the contents of your pelvis quite heavy, even lower than that, yeah. And we do this to let go of the muscles at the front of the hips, the hip flexors. Take a few breaths as you simply hang out here. Relaxing in the jaws and inside the mouth. And relaxing around and behind your eyes. And then allowing the back of your pelvis that should feel really heavy now to settle into the mat as you let everything go. Beautiful. And then having your arms down by your sides. As you breathe in, now begin to lift your arms as you peel the pelvis, but also some vertebrae off the floor. So you come into a gentle bridge with the arms behind you. And then gently come down, bone by bone, finding the floor. And your palms will come down beside you again. And I'd like you to continue with this moving bridge, inhaling to lift, and exhaling to come down. And I'd like you to be ever so curious, as if you've never really done anything like this before, to synchronize the movement with the breath and to feel every vertebra of your spine as it lifts and as it then comes back down. So as I watch you in the room, a couple of you who are flinging yourselves very quickly into this movement, I'd like all of you to make it as slow as you can, even if you think it's boring. This will allow your nervous system time to slow down. That is beautiful. much better. There are too many activities in life which require speed and strength, and not enough activities which require close attention. Feel every bone. All we're doing for now is bringing gentle mobility into the spine, gentle opening for the front of the body. You might also feel that some strength in the legs here to enable you to lift. Breathe it. And making the one you're on, the last one, before you settle the back down on the floor. And then drawing your knees in towards you with your hands. Maybe that your ankles cross, maybe not. As you simply rock very gently from side to side. And then from here, keeping your knees where they are and taking your arms out wide in a T shape. So your palms are facing up, most probably. Feeling the opening across your chest and your collarbones. And take a really lovely full breath in. And as you breathe out, allow your knees to fall to the left, letting them go completely onto the floor so you're not holding anything up. And take your eyes to the right. And I'm going to allow you some time to organize yourself here so that you're completely comfortable. You might find you want to slide your knees closer towards your armpit. You might want to slide them further down towards the end of your mat. And you all look very comfortable in that right shoulder blade, lovely and open. On what? For what? On my right side. Really? Yeah. Let me just come and have a look. Pulling. Yeah. Is it pain or is it just strong sensation? Yeah. What happens if you do something much more gentle? So just take your knees wide and your feet wide, your knees together. Just allow your hands to. Yeah, that's what you need to do. You're still getting a gentle rotation. Okay. Just taking a couple more breaths here, really breathing into where you feel sensation and allowing the whole body to soften. So I'm really, really pleased that Suzanne asked for an adjustment there. It's really important that you let me know if things are painful or uncomfortable. There's no point in, this is not a practice where there's no pain, no gain. We're not trying to aggravate our nervous system. We're trying to soothe everything. Okay, and then gently rolling your head to neutral and lifting the right knee followed by the left. And decide, do you want to bring your knees in towards your chest again before you come to the other side? Or are you ready just to simply roll the knees to the right and your head to the left, settling out in the left shoulder blade? Is that okay for you, Suzanne? Okay, really take time to identify where there's tightness in the body and let go a little bit and breathe. Relaxing in the face, breathing into sensation. Gently rinsing out the tensions of the day. Fabulous. In your own time, bringing yourself back to the center, bringing your knees into your chest. And from this pose, which is called Apanasana, we're just curling ourselves into a little ball here. We're going to come to all fours, and you have a choice. You could roll over to one side, or you might like to roll from head to tail if that is available to you. Just giving the muscles up and down your spine a bit of a massage. And then coming to meet me in an all fours position. Fantastic. If your knees are tender, you could place a blanket under your knees. There's lots of blankets there. I've got more behind. So again, like I said, I'm teaching this differently today. I'm really taking things apart slowly. Probably what I should have done last week. Kind of flung right into a bit of a crazy sequence last week. So I'm just, being a bit more sensible today. And then we can pick it up again in later weeks. So I want you to bring your attention to your back and just noticing that your spine is neutral here. And all we're going to do is what you've already done on your back. You're going to begin to tilt the pelvis forwards. So you might want to look at me and see how my lower back is dropping, belly's dropping, and correspondingly the chest might open, the chin might lift a little. And then we roll the pelvis back, looking in between your legs to take the back of the ribs up towards the ceiling. And keep going. This is cat-cow. Just gently arching and hollowing. We're going to do a couple of variations of this, but for now, I want you to see if you can synchronize a breath in as you drop your belly towards the floor, and a breath out as you hollow the front of your body into the back body. So you breathe in to drop, and you breathe out to hollow, drawing your navel into your spine. So trying not to bend at the elbows. The reason for that is if you bend at the elbows, there's less going on in the spine. You want all of the movement to go on in the pelvis and the spine. Perfect, that's brilliant. Okay, so we've done cat-cow, starting with the pelvis, inhaling to drop, exhaling to hollow. Let's just see, just for experiment's sake, what it's like to inhale to push the back of the ribs towards the ceiling as you look in between your legs. And then exhale to come the opposite way. It might feel counterintuitive. Or you might like it this way. And if you're uncomfortable on your wrists for any of this, you come on your forearms. That goes for everybody. Okay, let's let that rhythm go. And come back to the original rhythm where you inhale to drop your belly and open your chest. But we're going to add something now as you exhale and you hollow. Push into your hands to bring your bottom back towards your heels. And you inhale to come to all fours, dropping your belly. Exhale to scoop up, push back towards your heels. Take some time to explore what this feels like. From cat, cow to child's pose. Really smoothing out the movement so it follows the breath. So what I would say, Susan, is that you haven't got enough space between the heels of your hands and your knees. So bring your hands there. That'll give you, it'll be easier to move, much easier. rhythm, really feel it. Draw your bottom back to your heels as you exhale. And inhale back to all fours. Drop the belly, open the chest. Suzanne, can you just have a little look at me here? So you inhale like that. You exhale to pull up and come back. Inhale to come back up. And exhale to hollow and come back. Got Susan and Suzanne, we're going to get a bit confused here.
Call me Sue.
Okay, Sue and Suzanne. That's really lovely. And then let's come back and settle in the child's pose. Take your knees as far apart as they need to go. And make sure your forehead is resting either on the mat or on your hands. So you can just soften the whole body and feel that you trust the support beneath you. Breathe. Becoming really quiet. Gradually allowing your bottom to sink back towards your heels if possible. Beautiful. Please meet me in all fours again. So the movements we were doing, all of this is what I call teachy yoga. Sometimes we just flow through things, or sometimes like today, you're getting all the technical details. I hope you're okay with that. A little bit goes a long way. What we were doing with cat-cow was extending and flexing the spine. So we're moving up and down. I'm saying that because now I want you to do a movement that's a little bit more tricky. We're going to take a lateral side bend. And I want you first of all to show you what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to do this. Can you see how my bottom's just slanting around so I can look over my shoulder to see it? If I do that, there's nothing really going on in the spine. We're wanting the spine to come into that kind of a shape, that I'm exaggerating, but a little bit of a C shape. So all you do without even looking over your shoulder is bring your left shoulder and hip closer towards each other. So you should feel that there's a little crunch in the left side body, but the right side body opens. And then you come back to neutral. And you take the right shoulder to the right hip. It's a little bit like an articulated lorry or bus or something. If that makes sense. Or one of those snakes that do you remember those snakes that are in segments and you can flip around like that? Yeah. So try not to, if you look over your shoulder, there'll be a tendency to swing the bottom. You just want to really bring your spine into a snaky shape. C to one side, C to the other. Keep your head just neutral, looking down. Another quite nice way to visualize this, I think this is quite difficult, by the way, but another way to visualize this, which doesn't sound very dignified, is that you've got a paintbrush sticking out of your bottom, or you've got a tail, and you're swishing paint on the wall behind you. A little bit like you're a dog wagging a tail, but your shoulder is coming to meet the hip that's coming closer. That's looking really good. You're really good at this. Just a little bit more. This is so good for your spine to move from side to side like a fish. Wonderful. Let that go. And then in a much more easy and free way, we're going to do what pose called, come onto your forearms if it's too much. We're going to maraud the bear. So you're just going to allow your hips to circle. You could do this on your forearms if your wrists are hurting. And what I love about this is that you can then freestyle, bring in as much of the body as you like. So you can feel your whole skin, your ribs. And really don't be shy. You can move into a kind of cobra coming forwards. You can move back to child. Keep going and feel the whole body releasing tension. Breathing freely. That's beautiful. So Oliver really does look like a marauding bear. Got a salmon in your mouth. And Emily's catching up with him. So any directions you're circling, any movements you're circling in one direction, please take them in the opposite direction. This should feel nice. And then come back and rest again in child. Let everything go. Take your hands under your forehead if your forehead doesn't reach the mat. And simply observe how you're feeling now. Observe the quality of your breath. And then please join me in the middle of your mat, kneeling if that's possible. If you can't kneel sitting on your heels, you could kneel up high, might be easier. And we're going to take a little earth salutation to bring some of what we've been doing already into a little flow. So we start with our hands at our hearts. And as you breathe in, lift your hands, maybe look up towards them. And as you breathe out, bring your hands to the top of your head as you look ahead of you. You can stand if you need to, if you're very uncomfortable on your knees. And then inhale, come up high. Your pelvis moves forwards. And slowly on the exhale, come all the way down to an extended child. On the inhale, come to all fours like you've already done, dipping your belly towards the floor. Now curl your toes under and exhale, find a downward dog. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, drop your knees. Settle back into child. Take as much time as you need. On the next breath in, when you're ready, come up high again. As you breathe out, sitting back if that's possible for you, just bringing your hands to your head and to your chest. Beautiful. And then we start again. Inhaling, floating your hands up. Exhale, hands to the top of your head. Inhaling, coming up high. Just follow as you want to. It's fine if you want to do something different. Exhale, child. Beautiful. Inhale, come to all fours. It's like a prayer. Curl your toes under and exhale, downward dog. Take a full breath in. And on the exhale, slowly find your way back to child. And of course, you take more breaths if you need to. I'm suggesting the breathing. Breathe in and come up high. And breathe out. Hands to the top of the head as you sit down. Hands to your heart. Let's keep going. I love this little flow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come up high. Exhale, child. Really feel it. Allow the breath to move you. Inhale to all fours, dipping the belly towards the floor. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, find your way to child. Beautiful. It's looking so beautiful in the room. You've already got it. Inhale, come up high. And exhale, hands to the top of your head, hands to your heart. Let's do 2 more. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to do 1 more. If you've had enough, you rest in child's pose. And then taking a moment as you finish to either sit with your spine upright, just noticing how you feel, or if that's uncomfortable, take your knees apart, take your forehead down and rest in child. Give yourself time to absorb the effects of the practice rather than rushing from pose to pose. It's really lovely to watch you. So in that earth salutation, we came into a downward dog, but I didn't teach you the downward dog. So we're going to now do a little study of downward dog, which we did last week, in fact. If you remember, it's slightly different to how you might have been taught before. You're going to curl under your toes. You're going to take your weight all the way back to your heels. And I just want to show you what I don't want you to do, which is how I see most people coming into downward dog, if I'm honest. And it's this. Can you see how I'm bringing my shoulders forwards, all the weight's going down into my wrists, and then it goes like that. We're not doing that today. That is a way of coming in. I want you to do this. Really quiet in the arms and the ribs, trying not to push too much as you lift your knees. And you slowly unfold, keeping your belly to your thighs for as long as possible. This will keep length in the spine. And then we come back down again. So if you're not used to this, it's a lot of work for the legs. It's a lot of work for the legs. And a byproduct of this is that your legs get really strong. So it's brilliant for stamina, for resilience. So I'm going to get you to do several. Try and relax your neck and your head so you're not looking anywhere, you're just flopping your neck and your head. And take a few goes at unfolding and refolding yourself, and you have the option of resting in child's pose whenever you want to. So soothe, just relax the neck. Yeah, exactly, let go. Look through the legs rather, yes, much better. Otherwise you're going to strain the muscles in the neck. Looking fantastic. And if it's too much on the wrists, as I said last week, you can do exactly the same thing on your forearms, even though that's harder work. It's good for you. I might get us doing that anyway later. We'll see how we go. So Suzanne, that's beautiful. Really beautiful. Serena, fantastic. Okay, come and rest in child. You notice how that felt like more effort. So your breath might have charged up a bit. And in fact, we are going to, I hadn't planned this, but we are going to do the version on the forearms just because it is so good for strengthening the upper body. So please come onto your forearms. If you've had an issue with your ribs, muscles around your ribs, just notice if it begins to hurt, just don't continue. But we're going to just make sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders. I don't mind where your hands are. They could be palms down, palms up. Curl under your toes again. Bring your knees a little bit in towards your elbows. You might want to watch me first. Then we do exactly the same thing. We unfold, but this time the upper body is busy, supporting you. And then we refold. This is called dolphin pose. And it's excellent for building upper body strength, which for many of us, particularly for women, we don't have so much of, especially as we grow older. It's fantastic for bone density. What? Oh, I see. Why does that help?
Makes it easy.
Does it? Let's see. I'm just trying to work out why it would. Give you, like it gives you a head start. Okay. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? Everybody, look at Sue. That's a really good, beautiful spine going on. So it's hard. I think this is hard work. Your legs won't unfold. That's all right, because you're not doing it necessarily for that. You're doing it for upper body strength. You've got a bit hot. It's really tiring. I think it's just cheese. I think we've got a cheat in the room. Yeah, whatever works. Don't blame you. That's great, Serena. Okay, I think that's enough for that. It's hard work. Yeah, all I want you to do now is come into a downward dog, any way you want this time. And then you're going to walk your feet and your hands together. So we're going to move into a standing sequence. Starting off with the feet parallel. Now, do you remember at the beginning I mentioned the hip crests at the front? You could take your fingers to the hip crests here, right at the front, and draw a line down the middle of your legs. So they eventually come out around the second toes. And then I'd like everybody to bend your knees. I know you don't think that's what you're supposed to do, but I want you to bend your knees and allow the whole of the upper body to fall out of the pelvis, like you're a rag doll. Feel the pressure through the feet. Wonderful. And then take your, actually, I'm so sorry. What I'd really love is for you to use your bricks for this. This is partly, so if you bring your bricks underneath your hands. So this again is a little bit of a study between forward fold and half forward fold. So pressing your feet down, hands into your bricks. Now breathe in to straighten your legs and bring your chest forwards. If you don't understand the instructions, have a look at what I'm doing. Breathe out, stay here. Can you see how long my back is along the spine? Take a breath in, and then you can bend your knees to fold in again. And all I want you to do, it's a little bit like a jackknife, is to open and to close. A long, long spine as you straighten your legs. It's so good. So I'm going to give you these for what's coming winter. It's much more stable. These are bricks. And not everyone needs bricks, but for now we're just doing a little study. Next time your legs are straight, your spine is straight, your chest is forwards, bring your hands to your hips. And feel that your legs are working. Really draw the leg muscles into the bones. Press your feet into the floor. And then from here, inhale to come all the way up with a straight back. Okay. Exhale. Okay, arms by your sides. Breathing in, the arms come up. Just use the breath to move. And as you breathe out, swan dive down, lead with your heart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Fingers come to the floor or your shins, or to the bricks. Inhale, straighten the legs, the chest comes forward. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, inhale, come forward. Exhale, hands to the heart. This is a half sun salutation that we're doing. We're going to do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale to fold. Lead with the heart. Come all the way down. Inhale, flat back, chest forwards. Exhale to fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way. Exhale, hands to the heart. Final one, I'm not going to talk. Hands to the heart. So how many of you have heard the expression or the style of yoga vinyasa? Vinyasa flow, vinyasa. All that vinyasa means, it's really interesting because in some parts of the country, it's like the most trendy yoga, everyone wants vinyasa flow. So it's lovely for me that you don't know what it means, to be honest. But all it means is breath with movement. So when you do something like a half sun salutation, just what we've done, that is vinyasa. You're synchronizing the movement of the breath. So these flowing styles of yoga tend to do that. If you're used to Iyengar, you don't really do that. You come into a pose and you hold it. So I tend to do, well, I do lots of things, but what we're doing today is slowly bringing vinyasa in, breath with movement. Have your bricks ready at the front of the mat. We're going to add a bit now. It's going to get a bit more complicated. And breathe in to float your arms up. Beautiful. And breathe out to fold. Take your hands to your bricks. Breathe in to come to that flat back. And as you breathe out this time, take your right foot behind you. And I want, before you bring the right knee down, I want you to check that your left knee is above the ankle. Excellent. And then please drop the right knee to the floor. So I think we did this last week. It's a little bit of a lunge, what might be called a dragon. And hands on the bricks gives us a little bit of a head start. If you feel you don't need them, take them away. And then breathing in, lift the back knee, push through the heel. Excellent. And breathe out, drop the knee to the floor. And then breathe in, lift. Lovely long spine. You all look amazing. Breathe out, drop the knee slowly. Breathe in, lift. I dare you, Emily, to slow down by 50%. And breathe out, drop the back knee. Are you always speedy? Yeah. Okay. And then breathe in, lift the back knee. And breathe out, stay here. With the back leg straight. A little bit of strength going on now. Really push through that back heel. And drop into the hips. Excellent. You're going to micro bend that back knee. And on a breath in, can you pop the foot forwards? Lovely. Breathe out, fold. Breathing in, come all the way up. Breathe out, hands to the heart. Take the other side, breathe in. So this is vinyasa. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, flat back. And then step the left foot behind you. Check the front knee is over the ankle or the heel before you drop the back knee. Excellent. And then breathing in, straighten. Be conscious as you move with the breath. Breathe out, drop the knee. Breathe in, straighten. Oh, I'm really pleased. Breathe out, drop the knee. Breathe in, straighten. And breathe out, stay here now, really strengthening. Power up that back leg. It's going to matter for what comes afterwards. And then micro bend in the knee and pop yourself forwards. And fold. And please remove the bricks now. Way up. Breathe out, hands to your heart. Take a full breath in and out here. Just notice how you're feeling. Notice how your feet meet the floor, how you feel with the space around you. I've done quite a lot already. And then breathe into it. And breathe out, fold. And breathe into flatten your back, chest forwards. And with the breath out, we step the right foot back again, but now without the bricks. And I'd like you to press your right hand down. So your back knee is down for this, if you can. Press your right hand down, and then we take a twist to the left. Exactly. Look up at your left fingers if you can. Just take a little feel of this twist in the spine. And it may be that you want to keep the back knee down, or maybe it feels all right to lift the back knee. It's entirely up to you. Take a full breath in, and then bring the left hand down. And please come to an all fours position. And feel free to come onto your forearms if your wrists are hurting. But what's most important for what we're about to do is that your pelvis stays stable. We're going to move in and out of plank, one leg at a time. Can you see, you could watch me, see how my pelvis isn't moving much as I come in and out. So what I don't want you to do is have your bottom lifting, so that's more like a downward dog. You're looking for flat back. Like I said, if there's any strain on the wrists, come onto the forearms. And take a few rounds to move in and out of your plank. So we're working up the strength, working up the bone density. Don't go beyond your comfort here. That's excellent. That's a perfect plank suit. And then I'd like us all to meet in the plank, please. And we push back to downward dog from the plank. Now you can lift up your bottom and walk your feet in a little. Fabulous. And then from here, looking forwards and walk your feet towards your hands. If you're on your forearms, that gets a bit tricky at that stage. Sorry about that. Now inhale to this flat back. This is so good for the spine. And exhale, fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up, drawing up with the breath. And exhale, hands to the heart. You're doing so brilliantly. Let's take it to the other side. Inhale. And exhale. These are variations of sun salutations now we're doing. Inhaling, flat back. And on the exhale, your left foot comes behind you and you drop the knee. Making sure that that front knee is above the heel. Press down into that left hand as you spin to the right. You might feel the right shoulder blade carving into the spine. And we start with the back knee down, and only if it feels right. Sometimes it's easier to lift the back knee, there's more buoyancy. Breathe. Fabulous. Take a full breath in. Now, can you coordinate yourself to come straight into a plank? You can come viral forwards if you need to. And then from your plank,
We are coming back to downward dog, so if you're on your forearms, you might, yeah, well done. Might want to lift. And looking forwards, walk your feet to your hands. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Just take a moment to feel the body, feel the breath. I'm going to add a bit more. Is everyone okay to go a bit further? Still got juice? I'm just carrying on with this sun salutation vinyasa theme. And we'll then do a couple of classical standing postures, because we'll have warmed the whole body up to do that. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. And again, we step the right foot behind us. But this time I'd like you to keep the knee up. You all seem pretty strong in here today. So we're really plugging the muscles to the bones with this back leg. Can you see that my front knee is above the ankle? And then if you can, bring your hands to your hips. There's a bit more of a balance going on. You draw your abdomen in a little, not tight, just noticing that your abdominal strength supports your lower back. Feel the ground. You can always drop the knee if this is too much for you. And then from here, inhale, float your arms back. And exhale here. Take a breath in. And exhale, open your wings. Slide the shoulder blades down the spine. And inhale, lift. And exhale, open. Amazing. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Take a breath in, fingers wide. Really energize your fingertips. Find your plank. Or drop your knees if you need to. And we're going to do something different. Take a breath in. Now drop your knees. And we roll all the way down. We take a rest with our hands under our forehead. Feel the front body breathing. Please remember at any stage in this practice, if things get too much, you rest and you join in when you want to. I'd like you to bring your hands out beside you. And I want you to just observe something. This is a teachy moment. Often when you see a cobra, which is a back bend from lying on the belly, you see this. And all I'm doing is pressing into my hands, and I'm not using any muscles in my back at all. The function of most back bends is to strengthen the back. So there's no point doing this, even if you think it looks good. What you want to do is take your hands off the floor. This is just to practice. Press your feet into the floor. Maybe your pubic bone if you can feel that. And then gather the muscles around the shoulders together to pull up the chest. That exactly, well done, Oliver. It's really good. See, that's strong. And then you come back down. Brilliant, Serena. So we take 3 of these moving cobras to energize the muscles of the back. Beautiful, all of you. Fantastic. And then settle down, take a breath as you rest. Slide your hands where they're comfortable to bring you to all fours and back to a downward dog. And then looking in between your hands, walk your feet or step them to your hands. Press into your feet and inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last one. Heats things up, doesn't it, a bit? Inhale. Should make you feel very alive, this kind of practice. Exhale, fold. Come into your flat back. Step the left foot behind you. Now, I don't want you to come up until you've aligned yourself. You've checked that that front knee is above your ankle and you feel stable. And then bring your hands to your hips and lift. Balance as well. Yeah, you're doing brilliantly. And now inhale if you want to, float your arms up. And exhale here, feel your fingertips. So you decide if you look ahead or you look up. Inhale. And now open your wings, slide the shoulder blades down the spine. Inhale, lift. Like I say, it's a balance. Exhale, slide your shoulder blades down the spine. One more time, inhale. Well done, that's so good. Exhale. Take a breath from here, and then please find your plank. All fours is good. Take a full breath in. Drop your knees and roll all the way down. And we're going to do a different variation of cobra. You're going to come up onto your fingertips, elbows sticking up. So look how my fingers are right out. There's a right angle in my elbows, pretty much. So you bring your hands right out, right off the mat. Exactly. Bring your forehead down, and as you press into your fingertips, can you feel your shoulder blades, the muscles around the shoulder blades gathering? And then from here, with that strength, inhale, peel up the chest, your head comes low. And exhale, come down. Emily, take your hands right out, look at my elbows. So your fingers are under the elbows. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Brilliant. It's like you're a praying mantis. Inhale, come up. This is the last one, so why don't we have a little peek as we exhale over the right shoulder. Inhale to the front. And then a peek over the left shoulder. Amazing. Inhale. And come down. Release your hands. Take a breath. And then please, it's your choice now whether to come back and breathe out in downward dog or come straight back to child to rest. Even if you come to downward dog, you will still come to child to rest. Really feel what's going on for you now with the quality of your breath. Sensations in your body. Can you soften a little? Can you accept a little how you have found the practice so far? Maybe challenging, maybe not enough. Maybe just what you need. From child, please slide your hands back to your knees. Curl your toes under. We're going to come via a squat to standing. I don't mind if your heels find the floor or not. Yeah, that's fine if you're squatting. Yeah, that's great. Just give your ankles a little bit of a stretch here. Allow the spine to curl. Fabulous. And then as you slowly lower your heels to the floor, you lift your bottom. Bring your feet to parallel. And roll up bone by bone. How's everyone doing? Okay, is it okay? Got to the stage in the class where I'm not going to look at you because we're going to balance on one leg if I don't look. So what I'm hoping is that the practice so far has left you feeling spacious in the upper body, quite alive, and that your legs feel quite strong now. Any of that happened? So we root down. Imagine you're growing roots through the left foot as you take the right knee out to the side.
So this is a hip opener to the right. And you may stay here with the right toes on the floor, there's no problem with that. Keep your eyes softly pointing to one spot ahead. And then choose if you bring the foot higher up the leg. Just please avoid the knee socket. And when you've decided where you want to go, you press the foot and the inside of the leg in towards each other. And maybe you lift your arms. And you soften the lower jaw away from the upper jaw. Relax the shoulders. And there's no problem if you're wobbling or if you come in and out of this. I'm going to give you a variation if you want to. Take this into a little side bend, only if you want to. Breathe. Wherever you are, I can't see a thing. Gently straighten if you're in a side bend. Hands to your heart. Lift the right knee up in front of you. Float the foot down. Amazing. Now grow roots down through the right sole of your foot. Take the left knee out. Just notice how you can steady the breath, come into focus. And choose a much more wobbly on this leg. Choose how high up the leg you want to come. Press the foot and the leg in towards each other. Breathe. And soften those parts of the body that aren't working here. Maybe you join in the side angled version. Straighten up. Hands to the heart. Lift the left knee. Float the foot gently to the floor. Have a little shake. And have a little flap from side to side. Just let it go. And then please, I need to face this way because of the camera and YouTube. I'd like all of you in the room to face the window. So you're facing, that exactly. So you're facing the long end of your mat. And take your feet about 1 meter apart, but they're parallel. And then inhale, float the left arm up, left arm. And as you exhale, slide your right hand down the right leg. So we're coming towards triangle. Inhale to the top. Exhale, float your left arm down. Inhale, lift the right arm. Exhale, slide over to the left. Beautiful. So you feel the right side, that's right, right side of the body opening. Inhale to the top. Exhale, hand down. So I'm going to come, now that I've done that, to the camera up on your face so you can see exactly what I mean. Inhale, lift the right arm. So you're finding length, and then exhale, come into that little side bend. Don't come too far. And then inhale to the top. Exhale. Inhale, arm, left arm. And exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, lift. Do you know what I'd love you to do? Make it much easier. Is turn your mats around to face me one way, so now we can do it. So in all the years I've been teaching Utthita Trikonasana, which is triangle pose,
is I very rarely see a really good triangle, and it's because of this. Most people, so we're going to come into this in a minute, most people think it's really important to get the hand down to the floor, so they do something like that. When I do that, I've got absolutely no side bend going on. And the function, the reason we do triangle, apart from strengthening everything, is to get this lovely side bend. Do you remember on your all fours you were that snake? You're getting the side bend. So I'm much happier if you're here. It's as if when I was taught how to teach this, I was told to imagine that you're stuck between two panes of glass. So you're in one plane. Is that all right? So just have a look at your feet and then turn, so I'm mirroring you, so turn the left foot out. Yeah. And probably you want your feet a little bit wider apart, see? And the back foot is maybe turned in a little bit. It will depend on your pelvis. And the first thing I want you to do is feel the strength of your legs. Hug the muscles to the bone. How should we do this today? Let's take the left arm out. Keep the right hand to the hip. So as you imagine kind of Egyptian style, you're kind of reaching to the left, your right hip will move out. That's looking really good. I want you to stay there a moment, and we're feeling the length of the side body. And then when you feel you can't go any further, then take the hand to the leg. Was that me? You okay? Okay, and we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to allow this shoulder, it's your right shoulder, to flop forwards and allow the right arm to dangle. Amazing. And now, just gently unfold, peel open as you follow your fingers to the floor, the ceiling, and then slowly bring your fingers down again. We did this on the Saturday. I think you're the only one, Serena, who was here. And then you inhale and you unfold. That's brilliant. Your postures are brilliant. And then fold in again. And then we do it one more time and we stay. So I'm absolutely delighted that everyone is actually doing a side bend here. And you're going to choose if this feels the right strength for you. If you want to bring that raised hand to your hip, if it's getting too much. Or we can add something. You can bring the raised arm over your ear. And if you really want it strong, you lift the lower arm. That is strong. Yeah, not for everybody. How long do you want to stay there, Serena? Take a full breath in. I can't stay any longer. Look down, bend in that front knee. Gently come up. Bring your feet to parallel. Just take a moment. Has anyone practiced triangle like that before? I know you have on Saturday. Yeah. Do the instructions make sense to you? Do you feel how you could come maybe more fully into the pose? Get the right foot out. Left hand to your hip. Hug the leg muscles to the bones. And then reach, Egyptian style. Reach. Lengthen. Left hip is moving to the left. Lovely. And then hinge when you don't want to go any further. And flop that left shoulder and arm down. And then we inhale to peel open. And exhale to close down. Really fantastic. And inhale to open. Exhale to close. And this time, inhale to open, and you choose according to your level of energy, whether you stay like this, whether you bring your hand to your hip, whether you bring your arm over your ear, whether you lift the lower arm. Muscles are working, all the muscles are hugging to the bone. This is a strengthening part of the practice. Take a full breath in, then look down and bend into that front knee. Inhale, come up. Exhale. There's so much more that we can do, but we've done quite a lot. So let us take our feet wider apart. If you want, this is another time you can use the bricks. You are going to take your heels out and your toes in.
And to begin with, I'd like you to come into a position, I'll try and do it this way so you can see. I'd like you to come into a position where your back is parallel more or less with the floor. You're really sticking your bottom out behind you. Long spine. And one of the reasons we're doing this is to breathe space into the back of the pelvis. This is a symmetrical position after taking so many asymmetrical lunges, triangles. So really feel as if you can spread your sitting bones and create space, especially if you have issues with your hip. Suzanne, this is a good symmetrical thing to do. Now I want you to decide if this is where you want to stay or whether you want to gradually walk your bricks in between your feet. And all you're doing is coming into a deeper forward fold. Now, basically, the wider apart your feet are, the easier the forward fold should be. If your left feet are quite close together, that might be harder for you. And I want you to take 5 of the deepest breaths you've yet taken, really extending your exhalations. Slow it down. Of course, you can remove the bricks if you don't want them. Okay, I don't know if you've taken 5 breaths, but making the one that you're on your last exhalation. Please remove the bricks. And in your own time, quite stealthily, slinkily bring yourself into a downward dog. And you can walk it out. You might want to stay here, or you might feel ready. Take your knees down and wide apart. Really take the mat distance apart. Your big toes come together. And you settle your chest, your belly in between your knees. And your forehead either to your hands or to the mat. As you rest in child, becoming super soft after a lot of work. Please make your way onto your backs, with your feet standing on the floor. So we're back where we started. And take a moment to feel the relief, perhaps, of having your whole body supported by the floor after all the balancing, all the effort, all the concentration. That is some of the hardest part of the practice. And we're going to end the physical part of the practice with something we've already done today. In your own time and feeling your way, you float your arms as you peel yourself up bone by bone, lifting your hips, your spine, and slowly coming down. So you make a very floating, moving bridge for a few rounds. Oliver, try bringing your feet under your knees. It gives you more leverage. Yeah. Bit same for you, Serena, actually. Just bring your heels in a little bit. Breathing this very gentle movement. Make it as tiny as you want it to be, or as expansive as you want it to be. That's really beautiful, Emily. prefer it when you're not on your hands. Got a really lovely bridge going on there. And you've slowed it right down. It's completely different from at the beginning of the class. And it may be you come up into a bridge and you want to stay there and just experiment with a few breaths as you open the whole of the front of your body, but not with too much strain now as we're slowing it down. And in your own time, settling your spine down bone by bone. There's no hurry, but when you're ready, you draw your knees into your chest again. You have a little roll. Take a little twist of your choice. So, Suzanne, you might want to take the twist you did before with your feet on the floor. You might like to have your knees into your chest and flop them to one side, your head to the other. I want this to feel very soft and easy now. This is the last thing you do before relaxation. Slowing down the breath, allowing yourself to soothe the body with the breath. And then please do whatever you want to do. Have you taken your twist to each side? If you haven't taken your twist the other way, take it the other way. And then I'd like you to listen to your body and work out if you're ready to cover yourself in a blanket and lie flat, whether there's anything else that you're wanting to do. I'll give you a couple of minutes to decide. And if you're wanting to be covered in a blanket, ever since my kids left home, I love covering people with blankets. So let me know if you want one. I won't kiss you goodnight, I'll just cover you with a blanket. And take your time to come back to that place where we started, and I'm going to just go through the doors to turn the lights off. As you perhaps recall any intention you set for this practice, invite it back in again as you consciously let go. You take time to drop your attention into the back of your body, in full contact with the support beneath you. Feeling the weight of your body completely held and supported. Aware, perhaps, of your body breathing itself with no need to do anything. Just like you did at the very beginning, setting your attention free to wander. to wherever it wants to go. And I'll leave you for a few minutes in your own space. And as you continue to rest, I'm going to read a poem that I found today that I rather liked. It's called Earth by Derek Walcott. And if you're not into poetry, just allow the words to float past you. Don't worry. Let the day grow on you upward through your feet, the vegetal knuckles, to your knees of stone, until by evening you are a black tree. Feel with evening the swifts thicken your hair, the new moon rising out of your forehead, and the moonlit veins of silver running from your armpits like rivulets under white leaves. Sleep as ants cross your eyelids. You have never possessed anything as deeply as this. This is all you have owned from the first outcry through forever. You can never be dispossessed. And then beginning to take a few slightly deeper breaths, feeling the rise and fall of your abdomen with the breath. Maybe beginning to roll your head gently from side to side. Introducing other gentle movements perhaps into your wrists and ankles. Sometimes it's really nice to rub your hands quite vigorously and then take the heat of your palms over your eyes, allowing it to seep into your brain. Take your own time in your own way to gently transition out of Shavasana, maybe into a recovery pose on one side before we all come together, meet sitting. Maybe with your eyes closed, and your hands wherever you want them to be. And when you've come to sitting, just taking note of how you feel, just to mark the end of your practice. Possibly you feel different to when you arrived. And take a full breath into your heart. And with the exhalation, bowing your head, let all the breath out. And with the next breath in, lifting your head gently and opening your eyes into the evening. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. It was really lovely to be with you. It was really lovely to teach. Thank you. Just end this. I'm sorry, Buttons, I can't see. I'm trying to end the recording and I can't see anything.